All right, I want to talk a little bit about something that I don't think hardly anyone talks about. Some people do talk about it, but it's something that is not mentioned too much in the circles of philosophers, motivational speakers, people putting out information to people or living the best life that you can. You know what I mean? But I know for myself, there is a good side to philosophy and there is a bad side to philosophy. And just being honest with everyone here, let me adjust this a little. Just being honest with everyone here, lately, philosophy has not been a good thing for me. Lately, it has been a bad thing for myself. Now, I'm not saying altogether it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's been more of a bad thing than a good thing lately. There was a stage before this, the last couple years I've been making videos, that it was a really, really exciting time, and it still is exciting sometimes for me. I'm not saying that it's just one way all the time, because that's not life. Life is up and down, highs and lows, and that's how life is. That's just how life is. There is no aha moment. I got this moment. We've arrived moment. There is no such thing in life. And, in a way, that's a good thing and a bad thing too. That we never arrive and there's always a problem to be solved, because if there wasn't any problems, I'm just throwing this out there to think about it. If there wasn't any problems and there was nothing left to do, like if you're someone that believes in a higher power and that higher power came and said, here I am, I exist. Then what? Then what would there be to do? We would still have to live. We would still have to either find things to occupy ourselves or find things that are best for us as people. So, the good of philosophy, I was on a streak there where when I did videos and I woke up, I was really excited to do them. Because I had so much stuff to catch up on and so many things that I was skeptical about and so many different things that I didn't understand and I wanted to understand, and how I see things and how I see why do people do what they do and why do I do what I do, and what is the reason for all of this? What is the meaning with all of this? And over time, I realized that meaning is simply what I am making it right now as I speak. That is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is now, is right now as life is happening. See, I'm not looking forward to this ultimate, oh, everything's here, everything's right, everything's the way that I need it to be. There's no such thing as that. And I won't lie either. It's really hard for me to get some of these things through my thick skull too, because everything I talk about, I'm referring to myself. And whoever has been watching these videos should know by now, I'm only speaking for myself in these videos. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I know I said that a million times, and I'm not saying that much more. It's just for someone that might be new here. Every time I do these videos, it's me speaking from what I know, what I've been through, my life experience, and what is still happening, and all the things that go on in my body and this thing, you know, the brain and the body, which is really all connected anyway. It's all one thing when you really think about it. But yeah, I had a period there where the pros of philosophy, the pros of being skeptical about everything, asking questions, and looking for answers and searching for something, you know, this kind of spiritual, quote, spiritual, philosophical kind of thing mixed together, you know. And what I realized is all that did was, even though I learned things, even though it helps me to brainstorm with things, and it gives me the ability to make music and write and do other things with expression. But through and through, all that it did was take me on one big circle right back to myself. And the only thing that I got from it is I learned that, yes, even though it taught me things and I learned things, all that it did, it just brought me right back to now what? It just brought me right back to the thing that I always was. I never needed to really go on that seeking or trying to find, but this is what we all do, and even I do. We're always looking for something. We're always looking for better, and that's what we do as humans. That's what I do. I'm looking for better in my life, and that is what I'm on right now. The only thing that I'm interested right now, the only thing that I am looking for, if anything, I'm looking for ways to better my life. I'm looking for other people that are into making life better for themselves. Someone that is experimenting with things. Someone that has something going for themselves, you see? But even in that, even when I'm saying that, there is also the side of me that I worry about things. And I start worrying about situations that didn't even happen yet. See, this is my own obsessive compulsive behaviors of kind of this agoraphobic, and I don't know if I'm going to upload the video that I did on my own kind of agoraphobia, if that's what I want to call it. I really don't know what to call it. It's just a fear of having to confront certain things that I really don't want to confront anymore, because I honestly don't care to discuss it or get into it, because I know where it's going to lead. It always leads to a dead end. So it only brings me back to myself. And yes, do I enjoy doing philosophical videos, just venting and talking about anything in my life and talking about things I see and things that go on every day? Yeah, I do enjoy it. But there are some times when I do it that I'm not necessarily enjoying it. There's times where I do it because my own thinking, my own thoughts, my own mind is doing something that I kind of can't control. And I'm just being honest. And I'm doing everything that I can to be as open as I possibly can as a person, because I'm not hiding anymore. There's no need for me to hide. I have one life to live, and I want my life to be out in the open. I don't want to hide how I really feel about things. I don't want to hide the way that I see things for myself. You see, I don't want to do that no more. And if anybody would ask me the question, what do you think, quote, enlightenment means. If we're using this word, because I don't think there's any such thing as enlightenment, but if I gave a definition for what I think for myself enlightenment is, and I know this is going to seem maybe like a strange answer, but do you know what enlightenment is to me? Enlightenment equals not being offended by anything anyone says about you, anything that anyone says to you or about you, you don't get offended. Because here's the thing. If I know that I'm not the thing that they're calling me, then why would I get offended at the thing that they're calling me? If somebody calls me, this is going to sound vulgar, if somebody calls me a cracker, Quaker, D-sucking, mother effing, shit-eating asshole, okay, I'll laugh. It doesn't mean anything because I'm not that. So why would I get offended at that? Why would I get offended by anything that the conditioned mind of people is saying to me? You see, that is what is enlightenment to me. And what do we have today in our world? We have a lot of people that when you call them a name, or when you call them out on something, or you bring something up, or you say something to them that they didn't like from something that they don't even understand, then they get offended about it. And they get angry. And they let this thing take them over. See, what it comes to through all of this is the more you understand things, the less you will be offended by things. The more you understand the human condition, the more pity you will have, the more empathy you will have, the more you will look at others, and instead of hating them and looking at them like they're a piece of shit or something, you're going to look at them and go, I understand. I understand. But see, a lot of times, I got to keep that to myself. Because if I say that to them and they don't understand, then I know that they're going to be offended by what I'm saying to them because I say I understand. And because they might not understand, then they're offended by that thing because they don't understand why they're getting offended by the thing they don't even understand that they're getting offended by. There's nothing to be offended by. Nothing. There is no word on this planet that can offend a, quote, enlightened person. Someone that understands. Someone that has knowledge. Someone that has studied philosophy and has studied the human condition. And someone that has been a drug addict. Someone that has had family problems. Someone that has went and been around the way. Someone that has been one of the biggest socialites the world ever knew. I used to be one of the biggest socialites in the world. And I would still like to talk to people, but sometimes I feel like this is how I really feel. I feel like I can't talk with people. Because if I start getting brutally honest with people and I start calling things out for how I really see it, and I start talking to them in a way where I'm saying, look, do you understand this? Do you understand that? Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand that maybe what you're doing is this or that? then I'll be looked at like I'm a wise guy, or I'm trying to be better, or you think you know everything, or who are you to tell me this? And this is where I have this little fear of talking with people, because I know more than likely the state of my mind and where I'm at. Most people, they're not going to get it. And when I have to explain it, it's going to be, if they don't understand, then it's going to be like I'm talking to a brick wall. And I don't want to have conversation like that. I want to have real, down to earth, brutally honest. I don't care if we have to argue. I don't care if we have to get on each other's shit. I don't care if we have to be uncomfortable for an hour before we get through this shit and we get past this shit. You see, and that's why it's so weird how I'm living right now, because how I'm seen on this camera, this is really not me. This is the philosophical side of me. You see, this is me talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of me. This is me talking about scenarios in this world and in this life. I'm literally talking about things that I understand, that I have seen with my own eye, that I have witnessed, that I have seen other people do because of this, because of the conditioning and the programming and the indoctrination and the brainwashing. And how do I call myself anything? I can't call myself anything. There's nothing to call me. I'm living in the moment of now all the time. Even though I think of the past, even though the thought comes up of the future, I'm scared of the future because I know people are going to die. I'm going to die. I know that things are going to happen like I don't want them to happen. I know that in the future, I'm going to have to maybe get in scenarios that won't even happen. It's just in my mind. I'm scared of something that didn't even happen yet. And most of the time, it never happens. It never happens. It's a figment in my mind. Whether I'm a schizo, whether I have obsessive thinking, I don't know what to call it. There's nothing to call it. It's just me being honest about it. And then I think about the past and things I did in the past. And I'm saying, oh, that video I did the other day, I'm thinking of it. And I'm like, Nate, let it go. It's over. It was hours ago. It's over. That's not now. You see, the world, we get so caught up on old concepts. We get so caught up on old habits and old ways and old thinking and saying, oh, what I did yesterday, it wasn't good enough, so I got to make it right today. What I said the other day, they might not understand what I was saying, so now I have to correct what I said. You see, even my brain does this bullshit. And it does. It drives me kind of nuts, to be truthfully honest. And this is the bad side to philosophy. This is the side that I myself struggle with. But yet, it's not that I want to call it struggling. It's just there. It's just there. I can't even really call it bad or good. I can't even really do that. It's just a thing there. And this is why I said, if I would call the word, quote, enlightenment anything, I know that I am none of these labels that I'm called. I am not a genre. I am not a style. I am not a technique. I am not a way. I am not a trying to be something. I'm none of those things. I'm not an identity. I am none of that stuff. I just am. I am that I am because that's what I am at this particular moment. And the I am, what does that mean? What does it mean when I say I am blank? I am this. I am that. I am a loner. I am a depressive alcoholic. I am a drug addict that hates the world. I am a philosopher that loves life. I am a car salesman that loves women. I am a man that likes watching so-and-so. That doesn't describe a person. And I know somebody but nobody sounds, it sounds cliche. I know this, but it's the essence of myself. It's the good and the bad. It's the up and the down, the mania and the lows. It's literally life. It's a moniker for life. And cope and craft is because that's the only thing that I have to cope with is this, is looking in this phone and talking in my car to myself, and I upload it and put it out for the world to hear. This is my cope. This is all that I really have besides the needs that are provided to me as a person. And I appreciate those things. But yet, getting back to the good and the bad of philosophy, I get kind of tired, even though I don't want to get caught up on just being negative about everything and pessimistic about everything. I am looking for positive things too, but I know that there's always the other side of the coin there too. If I ignore that too much, then the one is going to get to be too much. And balancing this act, balancing this thing, it shouldn't be challenging, but yet I'm in this, I think right now in my life, I am in this stage where it's like this letting go process. It's like this, I'm shedding many snake skins. All these thoughts are going through my head of the past and how I used to be, and I said this, did I really want to say that? And the more that I look at it, I'm telling myself, what does it matter, Nate? What does it matter? It's over. It's done. Let it go and move on. And there isn't even any such thing as moving on either. It's always going to be right now. So what can I do as a person to make this now as best as I can for myself? That is all that is left. And yes, I am looking for positive alternatives in my life. But I haven't forgot the negative things, because without those things, then I couldn't see the other side of the coin. Without the white side, I can't see the black side. And without the black side of the coin, I can't see the white side of the coin. And do I get in my really, really bad ruts? It's just the mind, the brain, the thoughts doing something. That's all that it is. It's a game that this is playing with me. And it sounds weird, but it's almost like, yes, my mind thinks these thoughts, and I know they're ridiculous, and I don't want to think about them, but yet my mind and my thoughts think about it, even though I don't want to think about it, even though I know that they are absurd and they're nonsensical and there's really no reason for me to have them. My mind and my brain is doing something that I can't control. and I never could control it. I've been having this happen my whole life, even as a child. Now, whether people want to call that schizophrenia, whether people want to call it obsessive compulsive, whether people want to call it autism, whether people want to call it whatever, it's not about the label. It just comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. Like a wave that comes in, the wave gotta go out. And when the wave comes in, the wave must go out again. And there's no stopping this. So when we, or I'm going to say me, when I'm having a bad time in life, it's just a label that I'm putting there. It isn't that it's a bad time. It's just what the brain is doing itself. So when I'm like that, I have to look for ways. I have to be a part of positive things. I have to see something that is going to get me out of that because it's not healthy for me. It isn't that I'm trying to be a hypocrite. It isn't that I am trying to be something I'm not. It's just something that I have to do for myself. And when I'm too high on the mountain and I'm in one of my manias, then I know that the Mike Tyson uppercut is eventually going to come. It's a very sneaky, clever thing. Depression is a very, very, very clever thing. You think you got it beat, and you think you're fine, and you think everything's going to be all right, and out of nowhere, bloop, and you're out for the count, and I'm out for the count. And it happens every single time. You see me in this video now. Yes, I admit right now, I'm not feeling so bad. You see, right now, I'm not in one of my deep depressions. Not now. But eventually, if I don't seek out medication or therapy, or I don't get in an environment that can help me with that, then it's going to come again. I know that it's going to come again, and it ain't me telling myself this. Listen, months ago, I was telling myself every single positive affirmation that I possibly could. I was telling myself, Nate, today is going to be a good day. Nate, quit worrying about dumb stuff. It doesn't matter. Nate, suck it up and get over it. I was telling myself everything in the book that I possibly could. Yet, this what wasn't going to allow it for myself. And this is where I do have mental issues. I have a mental instability. And sometimes that mental instability is a gift and a curse for me. You see, it's not just the one. Even though I hate when I'm in that bad place with it, when I get out of it, that's when all of the creativity, that's when all of the dysfunction just comes pouring out of me like a waterfall, and then somehow the waterfall dries up and it's just leaking a little bit. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And I'm like, water, flow again. Where have you gone, water? You know, just give me a little more, you know, let it flow a little more than a drip. And whether that is a serotonin imbalance, Whether that is because of my situation and the environment I'm in right now, I can't pinpoint it. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of different things. And getting off that topic because I'm losing train of thought, see, what we don't want to do, and this is why I think a lot of us get depressed again from, there's two things. You can either get depressed from holding on to something or doing too much of something and not focusing on the other thing. Or it can be that your brain just has a dysfunction that you can't help, like mine. I now know that my brain does something on its own that I have absolutely no control over. I have the ability to make a choice, though. I still have the function to make a choice, but I can't help the thoughts and the storm going on in here and the cloud, the cloud around me, it's like a caving in effect. And there's this picture where this guy is on the ground and it looks like it's sucking him into a black hole. And it looks like the picture's a vacuum sucking and he's on the ground like this. And that picture, if I can find that picture, I'll put it on the thumbnail so you can understand what depression feels like with myself. But see, it's depression, I think, is coming. Why a lot of people are getting depressed is because they're not willing to expose the bad going on in them. You see? They're only willing to talk about the good stuff in their life. It's just like with social media. This is why it's so fake. It's so plasticky. Because people only show you the good side. Look at this delicious cake I'm baking for my family. And look, that's fine. That's fine. That's positive affirmation in our lives. I understand that. And I would tell people to be more positive about things. But when something comes along, when the spider comes along and bites you and the venom goes in you, then what are you going to do? Most people are going to act like it's not there. And they're going to ignore the fact that they just got bit by venom and they have venom flowing in their veins. And it's affecting their brain and their thinking. And they don't want to let anybody know. Because if they let them know that something crept up and bit them, if something bad happened, if a hiccup came along in their life, they don't want to talk about that, because if they talk about that, then they think that it's going to diminish the image of looking good. And this is what we all do. Do you know how many videos I made that I did not upload on this channel? Do you know how many videos I made before that I did not upload? It's probably, if I have 600 videos on this channel, I guarantee you it's at least 1 out of every 3 videos I make. Maybe even 2 out of 5 videos that I make, I don't upload. Because I know when I put out that image of myself, that people are going to expect me to be that way the next time. And this is how when I see people, I'm almost even scared to talk about my calamity, my misanthropic views of the world, my nihilistic views of the world, because I know when I do that, that energy is going to go into whoever's watching the video. But see, it's up to us to discern for ourselves. That's just life. Don't take it too serious. It's just life. It's just what someone like me has to vent at that time. When I do anything I do, I have no intentions on making anybody do anything that they make the choice to do. It's just me speaking for myself. It's me calling out my own stuff, my own bullshit, my own life, my own depression, my own joy, my own pain, my own misery, my own everything. It's just me calling my stuff out. That's it. So, this is why I hesitate to upload bad videos. See, this is why I hesitate to upload certain things that are on my mind, because I know that it's going to be interpreted or misunderstood from someone who might not understand why I'm talking about that thing. And then I hesitate on it. And I procrastinate with certain things. And procrastination is fear. Procrastination is fear. And what are we scared of? What are we scared of? That somebody is going to talk about us? Someone's going to call us out on our bullshit? That someone is going to get real with us? That there might be some kind of confrontation? When I think about this, it's so dumb and so stupid and so irrelevant, yet this keeps thinking about it. And it won't let certain things go. And I'm sitting there thinking, why the hell can I not just let this go? Why do I keep worrying about this thing that I have absolutely no control over? Why do I think that I can do certain things that I know I can't do? Why do I think that I'm supposed to live up to something that is not even possible in certain scenarios and situations? Why do I think about what is going to happen tomorrow like I'm doing right now in my head? Right now as I do this video, I'm thinking I got to go to work tomorrow. And I'm thinking, who am I going to have to talk to? Who am I going to run into? What are we going to talk about? Who am I going to have to see? It's just compulsively, obsessively thinking and worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. It hasn't even happened. But yet, I have no control of those thoughts coming in my mind. And I have done everything. I have looked into everything. I have literally And it isn't about doing something. It's just there. It's just how I am. And all that I can possibly, if I use the word hope, all that I can hope for is that I find a alternative to combat the worry, that I somehow come across a way, even though I just talked about no way, no technique, no genre, no nothing, no labels. If I can find a resolution for myself to stop thinking like that, if some alternative could come to where I don't have to keep catastrophizing in my head over and over and over and over. And this is another thing that I really struggle with right now, is catastrophizing. And I know why I do this. I know why I do it. But yet, I haven't found that thing to help me to stop doing it the way that I'm doing it, because it's not healthy. It's not healthy for me at all. It's not healthy. And I'll be honest, I'm scared. I'm scared and I'm terrified. I really am. And it's really bothering me lately. It's really, it's like a tape that keeps playing, and I keep rewinding it and playing it again. Even though I'm not pressing the play button, it keeps rewinding and playing. And then I think of people, places, things, scenarios, and all this stuff. And I don't know. Look, I'm being honest here. I might have some form of schizophrenia myself. I don't know. I really don't know. But I know what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? I'm not nuts. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I admit it. I'm crazy. And I think for myself, I have gone so insane that I'm sane, that I'm here in reality. And what I call myself an activist with words. I call myself a visionary, and I call myself a dreamer. A realist, a visionary, and a dreamer, all in one. And that's just what it is. You know, but I don't know. See, here's the thing that bothers me about this. I have been open about this before, and I have talked about it. And I have brought it out of the closet. I have called myself out. And I have been honest. I have showed agape to myself as well as others. I have showed my agape through my great calamity. I have not held back. But sometimes, even when I bring things out in the open and I get absolutely honest and I get it out of me, yeah, it helps for a little bit of time. But it creeps back in again. It's like the spider that comes out of nowhere. Gotcha. And it's back again. And I'm swiping it off my leg. Oh no, it bit me again. Here it is again. And then I gotta go through it again. And I gotta keep replaying these thoughts. And it's a lot more than what I'm explaining in this video. It's a lot more that goes through my brain. A lot more. It isn't just what people out there may be interpreting it, because they're not me, so they possibly can't understand what I mean. But it makes me a creative person. It gives me the ability to be a dysfunctional artist, because I know for myself, having dysfunctions is what makes art. Art is dysfunction. And I love that side and that part of me. I love the fact that I'm dysfunctional, but I just wish that I could handle my dysfunctions better than what I'm doing in a more healthy way for myself so that I could show someone else that may be going through that same thing. I could live my life and do what I'm doing and then put that out, and it could help someone in their lives do what they need to do for themselves to find a better way to cope with all of this dysfunction and all of these things and schizophrenia and bipolar and obsessive compulsiveness and all these things that humans build up because either we can't help it or we've kind of created that for ourselves. You see, there are things that I've created for myself, I won't lie. But there are some things that I did not create for myself. Along came a spider and bit and put the poison in me. And it might sound very strange, but I thank that thing. But at the same time, that thing is not fun and healthy. So I don't know any other way to describe it. I'm very grateful that I have this metaphorical demon. I'm grateful that I have this metaphorical spider that bites me. I'm thankful that I have this metaphorical dysfunction. It is metaphorical dysfunction, because what is dysfunction? What does that really mean? What is the source of dysfunction? You see? And I won't lie, sometimes I have the fear that I will not be understood. And this is why I hesitate too. Because I have a fear of being misunderstood, because I may be living by or into or having something happen to me that someone else might not be happening to them. And then I know that they're not going to understand. And that bothers me, because then there's no chemistry. There's no communication. There's no getting real with the now, what is going on right now. And I am someone, I always have to be taking an honest look at now and calling myself out now and dealing with what I may have to now and getting honest now and saying what I need to now. And this is why I always bring up autism, because there's something with me that is not like a lot of other people. It just isn't. And I don't know what it is. I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but I know that there is something that is very, very, very different from how I think, how I live, how I act, the things that I say, the way I feel about things, the way I react. I'm telling you, it's a world of its own. It's a whole world of its own. It's a whole galaxy of its own. A whole universe of its own. The brain, let me tell you, when they say the brain was a horrible thing to waste, yes, that is true for myself. And I wish that I wouldn't have done some things, but at the same time, those things make me what I am now. They're making this video happen. They're making the words come out of my mouth. They're making the expression come as it is. So how can I call it good or bad? when it's just happening that way? Do you understand why I say about labels? Why not labeling anything and remaining neutral, but yet seeing both things, seeing the good and the bad, seeing the right and the wrong, seeing the highs and the lows, seeing everything left and everything right, seeing the black and the white. And that, I think, that's the brilliance in my own mania. That's the brilliance in my own grandizing thoughts. That's the brilliance in the mystery, the mystique of what makes this what it is. And that is what I would like to see for every single individual vessel out there. I would like to see them calling this out, knowing this, getting real with this, understanding this. You see, to stop focusing on this, on them, they, even though I myself, I write about they and them and the world and the condition of mankind. I write about that, yes. But when I'm by myself, I'm constantly self-reflecting on me. And see, when I'm around others that are not self-reflecting, it's very uncomfortable because I know all they're doing is projecting all of their stuff onto me. And this is why I feel so uncomfortable when I'm around a bunch of people anymore. Because how many of us are getting real with ourselves? How many of us are being brutally honest with the way that we are and the things we do and why we say what we say? How many of us are willing to show our great calamity and our agape? How many of us are actually willing to do that for ourselves? And that will reflect off of you and me onto, that's what will be projected. We don't have to project what this is doing and thinking and living. It will project that out. Your reflection will be the projection that you live. So that's where I'm at right now. Right now, that's where I'm at. I'm not saying that tomorrow I'm not going to make a video talking about how down and out I feel, or how my mind and my thoughts started acting up, or something happened. You know, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, a couple hours from now, but I know eventually, listen, I know this might be a tough pill to swallow, but do you want to know the brutal, honest truth? Every single life story is a sad story. In the end, it's a sad story. But that doesn't mean that the whole life story has to be a sad story. Will I make sad music in the future? Yes, because there will be days where I'm feeling sad because of this. There's going to be days where I'm feeling mad and angry because of this. There's going to be days where I'm going to have to talk about how depressed and how sick and tired I am because of this. It's life. It's the brain and it's life, and it's all connected. It's all interconnected, and we are literally all in all, we are all one. We're really not separate when you think about it. We just think differently. We've been brought up with different thoughts and conditionings and programmings and taught you have to be this, don't be this, don't do too much of this. And listen, that's true. And I'm going to do a video on do as thou wilt, yes, but do as thou wilt with responsibility, with self-control and discipline for yourself. You see? I don't have a problem with people doing whatever they want to do in their lives. As long as people are not hurting or killing or taking another man's or woman's things that they own, that are theirs, then people can do whatever they want to do as long as we're responsible for ourselves, as long as we have self-control and discipline. These are the fruits of the metaphorical spirit that if all of us had, this would be a better world. And that's all that I'm looking for, really. If I'm looking for anything, I'm looking for better. And it's what we're all looking for. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have bumps in the road and hiccups. It doesn't mean that people are going to be alive forever. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have something bad happen or whatever can happen. It's life. It's life. And this is what I'm telling myself in the video is, Nate, it's life. It's life, Nate. I have no control over life itself. No control. And giving up that control is something that the thought of a prideful man does not want to give up. They do not want to give up control on anything. They want to think they're right about everything. They don't ever want to admit I was wrong or I made a mistake or that wasn't what I thought or I recant on what I thought or said. I lied about something but didn't realize I was lying at that time, but I'm here to say I did that. You see, we need more of that in the world. But we don't have more of that because yet again, and this is what I'm going to end the video on, we don't have more of that because we never want to talk about or discuss or expose the bad things happening, the hiccups in our life, the bumps in the road, the drug addiction, the whatever you can think of or put there. We have to hold up this image by all means necessary. And holding up this image and having these expectations of what we should stay like, that is what is causing the 1,000-pound gorilla on our back. That is what is causing the depression most of the time. Not all the time, though, because sometimes the brain can't help these things. See, in order to discern the differences between these, this is where we need to smarten up. This is where each of us needs to smarten up. Because there isn't just one way to discern anything. When I say that the reason that happened, see, nothing, every time, when they say there's two sides to every story, every time that you talk about something, people will interpret it differently. Every single person will interpret this video differently from the next person. But if we have some common ground, if I have common ground in my own life, And I'm willing to talk about things that I don't even want to talk about. Things I don't want to discuss because they're bad things. They're depressed things. They're things that my prideful image does not want to expose because I don't want to look like a weak man. I don't want to look like a sissy boy. I don't want to look like a crybaby. Don't we see that these things are literally things that men have made up out of the thought of pride, out of the thought of, I have to be this thing. I have to hold up this image of myself by all means. And until I let go of the image and I let go and expose what's going on up here, and I let go of what I think is good and bad and just talk about it. Let it be known. Get it off my chest. Then that is when the balance comes. That is when the equilibrium comes. That is when I say SBN. That is literally what the moniker means. This is what cope and craft means. This is what all of these things mean all in one. It's the moniker of life itself. It literally is the essence and the totality of everything that we know. Everything. And I know these things might sound cliche. And I know we are in a world of labels and symbols and ideologies. But listen, none of those things matter. All that matters is, what are we doing right now? Right now, what am I doing? And this is the best that I can do for myself right now. So what do I have to be ashamed of? What do I have to worry about? Why am I getting down on myself? Why am I catastrophizing? See, this is all the bullshit in the mind that's going on. All the stupid bullshit, the unnecessary, irrelevant bullshit in my own mind that's going on. And I know that it's a thought, yet there are times where it's not as bad than other times, and sometimes it's a lot worse for me. And the only thing I know to do is to talk about it. The only thing I know to do is express it and record it on a video and put it out to a world that goes through similar things, because we're all humans. It doesn't matter the melanin of your skin. It doesn't matter if you're screaming white pride, black pride, Latino pride, Eskimo pride, Brazilian pride, German pride, Russian pride. None of that matters. That is all a concept of pride and taking pride in something. And I understand why people do that. And if that's what they do, they can do that. As long as we have common ground here to understand these things for ourselves. And all that I can literally do right now is do what I'm doing. I can't do anything else. I don't have any control over anything else. And I know for myself, I'm looking to better deal with my own catastrophizing. How can I make it so that it's not making it unhealthy for me? You see? Even when I'm going through whatever I'm going through, and it might sound like whatever it sounds like, I'm still thinking, what is the better for myself? Do I understand this for myself? What do I have to do right now so that I am where I need to be in my life? And that's what I'm focusing on. And I know my mind, this brain plays tricks on me. I know that my own metaphorical demons, my own metaphorical spider bite is playing tricks on me. And I know that my thoughts are just obsessive compulsive behaviors. I know that my thoughts are the dysfunction. And even though I thank that dysfunction, I don't like that dysfunction at the same time. So what do I do? If I get rid of that, what am I? What am I if I get rid of that? If I get rid of I, then what am I? Did we catch that? Listen, I even have a thought in my head. You sound crazy. You're over dramatic. You're like, these are thoughts that go through my head that I think someone else might be thinking of me or something. But it's all, I'm only thinking it of myself. It ain't even them thinking it. Yeah, they might be thinking something like that. But see, this is why I probably more than likely am kind of a schizo, because I'm always thinking, I'm always reflecting on myself. There's always this little me on this shoulder and this shoulder going, Nate, do you think you want to do that? Nate, well, maybe you should do this, Nate. Nate, well, go that way, not that way. Like when I'm walking, I swear to goodness, if I'm walking and I'm walking down an alley and I get a feeling over me, there will be a voice going, don't keep walking down there. Turn around. And I will. I always listen to the voice in my own head. I always listen, but yet I know that there's another side that will say certain things where I'm like, this is bullshit. Like my thoughts. Like the obsessive stuff. I say, this is absolutely unnecessary. There's no reason for me to be thinking about this right now. There's literally no reason for me to be obsessing on tomorrow when there is no tomorrow. It will be now when I'm in tomorrow, and I'm thinking of scenarios and situations in my brain that haven't even happened yet. And they never happen. They never happen. Never. Never, ever, ever do they happen how I envision them happening in my head. And this part of me that I can't control, I have to talk about that and I have to expose it. And for a lot of us, it's so hard for us to do that because our image is going to look like something to someone else, and we don't want to show that to other people. We want to keep it hidden, and we want to store it away and keep it to ourselves. And look what happens in the world when some people do that. When they hide their hatred for something, or they hide their bitterness, or they hide their anger, or they hide what they're really feeling, or they hide something that happened but they won't talk about it. And they hide those things. And then they store up all these things in their own closet. And it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it gets bigger and bigger and fuller until the door and the lock cannot hold it anymore. And it just, boom, it just blows out. And we become atomic bombs. It happens with me all the time. I hold shit in and I don't talk about it, or I don't make a phone call, or I don't express it, or I don't let it be known because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to let it be known. I don't want to expose this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now because I know my image is going to be looked at a certain way from other people. And what I say is fuck that image. I don't care about an image. This is why I talk about me not worshiping or looking up to any idol. I don't need an image. I am what I am when I am now. That is what I am. I don't need any image. I'm not an image. I am a human that has a brain that thinks and reacts to things and knows things. And when the time comes, I have the choice. I have a choice to make, and I made that choice for myself. And let me tell you something. Me making some of these decisions and these choices was some of the hardest things that I have ever done in my life. To even start a YouTube channel, to even get on a video and start recording was hard for me to do. Because I had an image of myself. I had this image that I thought that I had to be for everybody. And if I didn't uphold the image, then they would see the image and they would judge the image and they would think all these things about my image. And my image is literally, it's an illusion. It is trickery. It's something there that it has no substance at all for me. None. But yet most of the world wants to hold up this image of them so bad. And it's the monkey gorilla. It's the 2,000-pound gorilla on our back, holding on because we won't let go of it. We won't expose it. We won't talk about it. Even if it hurts our pride and ego and what we think to be the construct of our own image, we don't want to let that be seen. And we hide it away. And it just gets heavier and heavier. And it becomes a weight that we can't hold up. And then how do we react? We explode. We turn into an atomic bomb. You see? And it all comes out at once. And we do the most horrendous, the most violent and vulgar and abusive things to each other because of that. And here's what I'm going to end this on. If there's anybody out there that has that pent up energy, those stored up thoughts and those things going on, put it into art. Put it into movies that have never been made. Put it into a craft. Put it into something. Even if it's fantasy stuff. You know, some people like fantasy stuff. I'm not really into the fantasy things anymore myself. But if that's what someone else does, put it into if you're someone that likes video games, put it into the craft of video games. If you like anime, put all of that into that. Don't bring it into real life, though. Keep it in the fantasy realm. Keep it in the realm of putting it into technology or a gaming system or a video or music. Put it into that. That is the outlet there waiting for every single one of us. It's right there. But we're scared to do it. Why are we scared to do it? There's nothing to be afraid of. The only thing we're afraid of is ourselves. And we're letting this fool us and trick us. And we're letting this play games and say, you can't do it like that. They won't like it. If you do it that way, they're not, you can't ever make it. It's never going to happen for you. You see, that's the thought going through our minds all the time. And even it goes through my mind. That person over here, you can't ever do it. Oh, you're fooling yourself, Nate. Oh, who do you think you are? Yeah, you think you're better than them? See, it's always that person. But then there's the other person going, you can do what you want to do. Just do it responsibly and with self-control and discipline. And even through my own great calamity, show agape, be open, let it be known. Why am I hiding? Am I going to do this my whole life? Am I going to hide my whole life? Am I going to seclude myself my whole life? Am I going to isolate my whole life? I mean, maybe I will be by myself more than anything. And I enjoy my own solitude. And I enjoy being by myself most of the time. But there's also a part of me that needs the other side too. See, when I'm doing way too much of the one, the equilibrium is messed up. It's not flowing right. It's like a river flowing and you put a board in that river, it's going to mess up the flow of the water. You have to let go of the board. Let go of the nail there. Let go of the obstacle holding back the flowetry of who you are and what you're thinking and what you're going through and whatever's happening in your life. Let it go and move on. Live in the now. It doesn't matter what's going on. If it's good or it's bad or it's right or it's wrong. Talk about it. Put that into a craft or art. Put that into an outlet instead of bringing it into reality and taking it out on another person. See, that is us. That is a very misunderstood thing that we do, is we explode with violence. We explode in a way where we take everything we're going through out on somebody else or ourselves. And I know for me, I have to find an outlet. I have to have an outlet. And this is my outlet. And that's what I would like to think and prefer for every single person out here. Every single person out here. But I can't make that happen for anybody. That's up to every single individual being to let it be what it is and to talk about things that they might not even want to talk about, but it's like, you got to do it for the better of yourself. And this whole judging thing, who gives a shit about what other people think of us or you or me? It's just their own thoughts too, but it's not even real. We just think that those people are thinking that. You see, it's coming from us telling ourselves this. And we think that they're saying these things, just like I do. I think in my head that that person, if I do this, is going to think this. And more than likely, they're not even thinking that. It's me thinking it. It's me holding myself back. It's me not being honest with myself. It's me that is not willing to be vulnerable with what's really going on in my brain and in my life. And as long as I'm putting up this tough guy image, or this pride image, or this image that I can't be wrong, I can't show them that I'm having trouble with something. I can't show them that I'm feeling this way. I can't show them that I'm depressed. I can't show them that I am struggling in life. I definitely can't show them that I'm having suicidal thoughts. I definitely can't show them that I did this thing that I'm ashamed of. I definitely can't talk about any of those things because they're going to judge me and they're going to talk about me and they're going to down me and I'm not going to fit in and I'm going to forever be lonely and by myself. See, this is the brain playing tricks on us. And this is what the mind and the brain does. It plays tricks, just like the song, "My mind's playing tricks on me." That's exactly right. And that's what the mind and the brain does. Whatever someone wants to call it, consciousness, brain, mind, thoughts, whatever people put there, because everybody's going to interpret it differently. And see, right now, this is a good video for me. I'm not feeling too bad, and it's a lot easier for me to discuss this. But yet I'm throwing in the bad stuff. Now, there will be another video where I'm feeling bad, yet I'm going for the better and the good, and I'm putting the good in with the message, but I might not be feeling it, you see? It's always this and this, this and this, this and this, and kind of being the middleman, being the neutral person that sees both things and understands both things. And that is what I'm all about. I am all about neutralism. I'm all about contradiction, hypocrisies, ironies, conundrums. Just everything that we can possibly think of that has to do with yin, yang, black, white, up, down, left, right, good, bad, evil, righteous, saint, sinner. All of those things are just a way to interpret or compare or discern something. But when you really, really think about it, we really don't fall into any of those labels because we're really not any of them. We just think that we are. It's a word that we're putting there to describe that thing. I know this seems really weird. I know this seems out there. I know this seems too deep, too deep. And that's why I even put that in one of my art things, too deep. Because yes, I am too deep of a person. I think that I'm too deep sometimes. But I can't help it though. That's just the way that I am. It isn't that I'm trying to be better. It isn't that I'm worse than someone. It isn't that I'm comparing myself in any kind of way. I just can't help that I think like that. And every single one of us, I don't care who anybody is out there, that's irrelevant. I know that every single person out there has something different about them. They have something that they really like or enjoy or love, whatever word you want to put there. It's just they have not come to the point yet where they are willing to be open and expose it and be honest with it. They are not willing to show their great calamity and their agape. See, we all tend to just want to show the one. We want to either talk about negativity and the great calamity of things, or we want to talk about love and agape and all the positive stuff and all the good stuff. And this is what we do on social media. Do you see why I talk about comparing? It's always this one thing that we're doing and we never show the other thing. We keep that hidden. And we keep one thing in the dark and one thing in the light because we're trying so hard to hold up this image of ourselves. And what I say is the image of ourselves, let it go. Let it go. Let it die. Let it fade. And if it's still on your mind, then you know that your brain is doing something that you really can't control. But I can still talk about it. I can still let it be known. I can still do a video. I can still grab my phone, put it on this thing, bring my light out here, and do a video. I can still record it. I made the choice to do that. And any one of us can make the choice to do that for ourselves. It's just, are we going to make the choice to do it? But yet that the fear that's there, the fear of comparison, the fear of they're not going to like it, the fear of I can't expose this side of my image, the fear there is the control that controls every one of us, and it controls almost every single video that we see. Just being honest. We're being controlled by an image of what we think we should be. We're being controlled by fear itself. And I don't know who said this. I don't know if it was Roosevelt or I forget who it was. But it said, the only thing to fear is fear itself. The only thing to fear is fear itself. And we are allowing the fear to take control of us in our lives. And this is why we only ever show one part of us. It's why we put on this facade for people. It's why when we're depressed or we're feeling bad, we say we're all right, I'm okay. When really we're not feeling like that. And even I do it. Even I lie to people. Sweet little lie. You know, little lie, those sweet little lies. Even I, when people ask me how you doing, I'll say, all right, okay. I'll go, all right. You know, I say it like that. I go, all right, all right. You know, that's just the way that I say it, you know. But a lot of the times, I'm not doing all right. I'm having a storm going on. I'm depressed. I have the cloud in my mind. The thing comes back. You know, the bloop, the Mike Tyson uppercut, the spider that comes along and bites me. And should I feel bad that I lie? I do feel bad when I do it. I actually do. That's how much of a guilty conscience I have with myself, is that even when I lie about how I feel, I almost feel guilty that I didn't tell the truth, that I didn't say, oh, well, I actually feel like shit right now. I'm actually depressed. I'm actually having a horrible time right now in this thing. And that's just how I am. So anyway, this is where I'm at right now. And I'm not expecting to be any way, because I know that it's always going to be changing. It's always going to be different. I'm always going to be feeling different. Things are always going to be happening different. Life is always going to be serving the dish that it serves. I don't know if it's going to be hot or cold. I don't know if it's going to go left or right. I don't know. IDK, I don't know. And I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm always willing to admit if I told a lie that I didn't realize I was doing. I'm always willing to say I don't know. I'm always willing to say I made a mistake or I was wrong or what I was talking about from before, that's not what I'm thinking now, or that's not what I think is right for me now. See, I'm always willing to be open now, but I still have not found healthy alternatives for my catastrophizing and my obsessive thoughts and my depression. I have not found healthy alternatives to that yet. And that's discouraging. It's not fun when the spider comes and bites. It's not fun when the poison's flowing through me. It's not fun when I'm thinking about tomorrow, what's going to happen. I got to go to work tomorrow now, and I'm thinking what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, let it go. But see, my thoughts will not let it go. I keep thinking about it and catastrophizing on it. And none of those things are even going to happen. None of them. None of them will happen. None of them. So this is my realization of it. And all that I can say is best to everybody, even if whatever you're going through out there. Let's start focusing on how can we make life better without hurting something else? How can we make life better without lying to ourselves? How can we make life a little better without trying to be something we're not? How can we make life a bit better for ourselves without deceiving ourselves? How can we make life a little bit better without trying to fit in somewhere where we don't really belong? How can we make our life a little bit better? What are the alternatives here? See, I'm not really interested in anything else right now. I'm interested in alternatives. I'm interested in better drugs for myself if I am going to be on a drug. I'm interested in medicinal things that can help my health. I'm interested in healthy food. I'm interested in things that are going to make me a better person while I'm here. That's really it. Even though I watch my videos on the good and the bad things, that's irrelevant. That's just what I'm thinking at that time. That's just what my thought and my brain is craving at that time. That's all that it is. It's just that mental storage shed in my mind that says, gotta watch that now. It's this thing going, gotta watch that now. Yeah, I had enough of that. Let's go to this now. Okay, well, we got to do this now because we're feeling this way now. And we got to make this happen. It doesn't stop. It's not going to stop. And it's an honest cope. An honest cope. That's all I have left is cope. I'm just coping honestly as I know how to. And I'm using a craft to cope with. And that's what I would like to see every single human being do, is to find a craft, find an outlet, find an art, find a way to get it all out, to get it off your chest, to have something there to cope with. You know, that's all that I can ask for myself. And that's all that I would like to see for others if I do see anything in other people. But I know that I can't make it happen for other people. I can only make it happen for myself. So anything that I do, it's just to better myself. I don't ever mean to do anything but that. If any of the videos that I have ever made on this channel, there was no intention or motive behind it other than to better myself or be honest with myself and call out things for how they really are. That's it. I didn't mean any other thing that might have been misinterpreted as something. I can assure it was not that thing. It was not for that. I did not intend it to be that thought of whatever someone might be thinking. My intention, if any, was to better myself and to put that out so that another person could better their life or get honest with themselves or could reflect on themselves and call out their stuff and look into why they do what they do. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. I don't care about anything else. Everything else is irrelevant. It's nonsensical. There's no need for it. Anything else is just extra baggage in my life. And that's how I see it all. It's just looking for the better while I'm here. Until I exit this planet, I'm looking for better. I'm willing to take better, be better, do better, think better, and live better for myself. And who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't? I don't know. I don't know of anybody that isn't. So there's no way that I'm in a world of my own on this one. I'm in the world on this one. This is the whole world. So, yet again, the common ground. What is the common ground that we can have amongst each other when we are in the vicinity of one another? You know, who cares if this person is wearing something that I'm not wearing? Or they have a certain symbol that they represent that I don't. Or they have a certain label they go by that I don't. Who cares? What is the common ground things? What are the do as thou wilt things, but responsibly, self-control, disciplined manner things while still having fun in life, while still experimenting with healthy things? Those are the things that I want to know about. Those are the things that I'm interested in. Those are the things that I'm resonating on right now. And I don't want to think of anything else. I don't want to resonate on anything else. Even if I talk about things that I got to, I'm not resonating on those things. Those are just things that come out of nowhere. That's the spider with the venom that comes along that I can't help and control. So that's what it is. I'm going to let it go. Let it be what it is. Take care. And I want everybody to understand something on here. Me being an activist and a visionary and a realist, the only way that I make a living on this channel is by donations. That is the only way that I make a living for myself. And I let people, if they want to do that, do that. But I know I don't hardly ever ask, but you know what? I'm not ashamed to ask people. I put my time and my energy and my life into this. So, if anything, if the video resonated or you appreciated it or it made you think and you want to give back, please help the channel by donating. That's all I can ask. Even if it's $1. I don't care if it's $1, $5, $10, $20, $50. I don't care what it is. It's, you know, this is kind of like my, I don't want to call it a job. It's kind of like my duty to do. And the only thing that I get back is donations. That's it. And I know there's people out there that they might not have to give and they don't want to give and they don't have to give anything. I'm just saying it's like other channels, other activists, other visionaries and realists. Their channels are doing a lot better than mine with the donation thing. And I'm just saying, if anybody wants to give from their metaphorical heart or their soul or their brain, whatever, please, I'm asking. That's the way that I survive and get by. Because I'm really not, I don't hardly make anything for myself at all. I'm just being honest. I don't really make anything. And this isn't begging or being a fiend or being desperate. I'm simply saying the only way that I'm going to survive on this channel is by getting donations. The only way that I'm going to be able to support a healthy lifestyle and support Cope and support a craft and support this all in all one thing is if I get donations and if I get help in that manner. So I'm just putting that out there. You know, I really didn't want to end the video on that. And I don't know if I'll ever put up a Patreon again. I was thinking about it, but I don't really want to do that, but I don't know. It's just me being honest. I really didn't want to talk about this, but I feel as though I'm putting in a lot of time with this and I'm putting in my energy, and all that I have on this earth is time. That's it. I don't have anything else. I only have my time. I only have my thoughts, my thinking, my actions, the craft. That's all that I have. That's all that I have to give. I don't have anything to give anybody but what I do on this channel. That's it. I don't have anything to give. And if somebody wants to give themselves, all that I ask is that you give a donation. I don't care what it is. Numbers don't matter to me. I don't care about numbers. That's not important. It's just the act of giving. It's the act of saying, I appreciate this. Because if an artist is not appreciated, if an artist is not taken as they are, or they are not being known in a way by giving, saying, okay, I understood that and I relate to a lot of those things and I go through those things myself. And this is me giving my appreciation to you in return, but not asking for anything back. I do this without asking for anything back, but if people want to give back, then I allow it. You see what I'm saying? And that shows me that I'm appreciated with being honest. It shows me that I'm appreciated with me being myself and me being what I really am and taking me as I am. That shows me that there's common ground. It shows me that it's being known. It shows me that there's somebody listening, that there's somebody understanding, that there's somebody out there that actually cares, you know? And people don't realize how much that helps. I don't think people understand how much a donation can help a person. I'm telling you, it has helped me through some of the darkest days in my life when some people gave me a hefty one and some people gave me a little one. I didn't care what it was. It always brightened my day up. It always helped with a need. It always helped me to get something to make the channel better. It always did something to make it better. To make it better. And if I had to give to someone out there, I would if I had more. I just don't have anything to give but these videos. I don't have anything to give but my energy. I don't have anything to give but my art and my craft and my words and my thoughts. That's all I have to give. I don't have anything else to give but that. So please don't ever have an expectation for me other than the videos that I make, that I put out on this channel, because that's all I have to give. So that's my appreciation towards others out there. That's me giving back. That's me giving myself to the world. And if I don't feel like I'm being appreciated or understood, if I don't feel like somebody is listening or somebody is saying, I understand, I go through the same thing, I will take you as you are. You see, I don't think we realize how much that helps a man. I really don't think we understand how much that helps somebody. I know how much it helps me, and I need that help. I need that help. I need that help. I'm not lying. I need that help. So, yet again, through the great calamity, agape, it's just me being honest. It's just me telling it how it is, because I'm not scared to tell it how it is no more. I was a little while ago, and I messed up the way that I did it before. I shouldn't have did it the way that I did it. And I learned. I'm just a human being learning. I'm learning, and I'm burning, and I'm giving, and I'm living. That's all I'm doing. So with that, I'm out. Take care. Thank you to all those who have donated before. Thank you. I appreciate it. It has helped me with a need. It has helped me with something. I don't worship the dollar bill. I don't even really like money. It's paper. But in this thing, I need money too. I need money to live too, you know? And money is a tool, yet again. Money is not a weapon, it's a tool. It's a tool to be used. That's all it is. It's a gesture. Money is a gesture. It's saying thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all it is. That's all money is. It's a gesture. It's a thank you bill. That's all that it is to me, if I really sit here and think about it. It's a bill of charity and long suffering and all those things. So, all we have is now. There is no future. Even catastrophizing doesn't even exist. It's a thought. It's a figment in my mind. And there is no past. The past is done. We can't do anything about the past. I can't do anything about the past. It's over. It's done. There is no future. I only have now. So what can I do right now to better my situation? That's it. Later, y'all. Take care.